You've likely heard that walking burns calories, but did you know that with every step, you are physically reshaping the architecture of your brain? Most people view walking as a lesser exercise, something you do when you're too tired for the gym. But recent clinical shifts suggest that walking isn't just a backup plan, it's a biological reset button. In this video, we are uncovering 10 shocking transformations that occur in your body when you commit to a daily walk. We aren't talking about feeling a bit better. We're talking about laboratory-proven changes to your organs, your bones, and even your DNA. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you the FIT blueprint, a specific frequency, intensity, and time formula that turns a casual stroll into a pharmaceutical-grade health intervention. 10. The neural expansion, brain health. We often think of our brains as fixed hardware, but walking proves they are more like software that can be upgraded. Researchers at the University of California discovered that sedentary lifestyles lead to the thinning of the medial temporal lobe, the area responsible for forming new memories. When you walk, you trigger the release of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as Miracle-Grow for your brain. It repairs failing neurons and promotes the growth of new ones. A landmark study followed older adults for a year and found that those who walked regularly actually saw a 2% increase in the size of their hippocampus. In biological terms, they reversed the clock on brain aging by nearly 2 years. You aren't just moving your legs, you're expanding your mind's capacity. 9. The ocular pressure valve, eye health. It sounds disconnected. How do your feet affect your eyes? The answer lies in intraocular pressure, IOP. Conditions like glaucoma occur when fluid pressure builds up inside the eye, damaging the optic nerve. Clinical research published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science showed that low-impact aerobic exercise, specifically walking, can reduce this internal eye pressure by up to 20%. Think of your circulatory system as a complex plumbing network. Walking acts as a regulator that prevents pipes in your head from bursting under pressure. While high-intensity lifting can sometimes cause pressure spikes, walking provides a steady, rhythmic drainage that keeps your vision clear and protected. 8. The cardiac shield, heart strength. There is a massive misconception that if you aren't gasping for air and drenched in sweat, your heart isn't getting stronger. The American Heart Association conducted a 6-year study comparing runners and walkers. The data was startling. For lowering the risk of high blood pressure and cholesterol, walking was just as effective, and in some cases, more sustainable than running. Walking acts like a natural beta blocker. It makes your blood vessels more flexible, allowing blood to flow with less resistance. Imagine your arteries are like old, stiff garden hoses. Walking turns them back into flexible, high-capacity pipes. Because it doesn't spike cortisol, the stress hormone, the way intense sprinting does, it strengthens the heart muscle without the inflammatory wear and tear of high-impact cardio. 7. The respiratory flush, lung capacity. Most of us are shallow breathers, using only the top third of our lungs. Over time, the lower sections of the lungs can become stagnant, accumulating stale air and pollutants. Walking is a rhythmic aerobic catalyst. As you walk, your diaphragm is forced into a larger range of motion. This doesn't just bring in oxygen, it performs a mechanical flush of the lungs. A study on pulmonary health found that regular walkers have significantly higher hemoglobin saturation, meaning their blood is more efficient at carrying life-giving oxygen to every cell in the body. You are essentially deep cleaning your respiratory system with every mile. 6. The metabolic governor, blood sugar. If you're worried about blood sugar, walking is your greatest ally. A study by Duke University compared individuals who walked briskly to those who ran vigorously. Surprisingly, the walkers showed a 6-fold improvement in glucose tolerance compared to the runners. Why? It comes down to insulin sensitivity. When you walk at a moderate pace, your muscles demand sugar from the bloodstream at a steady rate. This trains your pancreas to release insulin more efficiently rather than dumping it all at once. It's the difference between a controlled burn and a wildfire. For anyone managing insulin resistance, walking isn't just exercise, it's metabolic medicine. 5. The internal piston, digestion. Your gut is essentially a long muscular tube that requires movement to function. A massive study involving over 150,000 participants found a direct correlation between walking and a reduced risk of colon issues. Walking stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like muscle contractions that move food through your digestive tract. Think of your digestive system like a slow-moving river. If the water stops moving, it becomes stagnant and toxic. Walking keeps the current moving, significantly reducing transit time for waste and lowering the internal inflammation that leads to chronic gut distress. 4. The joint lubricator, bone density. Many people stop moving because their joints hurt, but that is actually the worst thing you can do. Your bones are living tissues that follow Wolff's Law. They grow stronger in response to the stress placed upon them. Walking creates a piezoelectric effect. Every time your heel hits the ground, a tiny electric spark is generated in the bone. This spark signals cells called osteoblasts to come and lay down new bone minerals. Unlike running, which can be bone-crushing for some, walking is bone-building. It's like adding layers of armor to your skeleton without the risk of cracks or fractures. 3. Spinal decompression, back pain. Back pain is often caused by starving spinal discs. Your spinal discs don't have their own blood supply. They rely on a process called imbibition. This is a fancy word for pumping. As you walk, the gentle rotation of your hips and the compression/release of your steps act like a sponge being squeezed and soaked in water. This pumps nutrient-rich fluid into the discs and flushes out waste products. This hydrostatic nourishment keeps your spine flexible and resilient. If you sit all day, your discs are being slowly crushed. If you walk, they are being fed. 2. The endocrine reset, stress and mood. The Journal of Psychiatric Research found that just 30 minutes of walking can be as effective as some pharmacological interventions for mild to moderate depression. This happens because walking initiates a chemical accession. It forces the body to metabolize cortisol, the stress hormone, while simultaneously flooding the system with endorphins and anandamide, often called the bliss molecule. There is a biological incompatibility between the forward motion of walking and the stagnant state of anxiety. When the body moves forward, the mind eventually follows. 1. The cellular guardian, immunity. The number one change is your internal defense system. Walking increases the circulation of natural killer NK cells and T cells. In one study, people who walked at least 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, had 43% fewer sick days than those who didn't. When you walk, you are essentially patrolling your body. The increased circulation moves your immune cells out of storage and into the front lines of your bloodstream, where they can catch pathogens before they take hold. You aren't just getting fit, you're building an invisible fortress. The FIT formula, your scientific blueprint. To get these results, you can't just wander. You need the FIT protocol. Frequency, aim for a minimum of 5 days a week. Your body needs a consistent signal to adapt. Intensity, use the talk test. You should be walking fast enough that you can hold a conversation, but you wouldn't be able to sing a song. This is the Zone 2 sweet spot for longevity. Time, 30 minutes is the magic threshold where the most significant hormonal shifts occur. If you're starting out, 3 10-minute walks are just as effective as one 30-minute session. Pro tip, pay attention to your arm swing. Actively swinging your arms at a 90-degree angle engages your core and increases your caloric burn by nearly 10% without any extra effort from your legs. Walking is the most underrated wonder drug in human history. It's free, it's accessible, and it requires no special equipment, just the decision to start. If you are ready to take control of your biology and commit to the FIT formula, I want you to type "I am walking" in the comments below. It's a small commitment that leads to a massive transformation. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into human performance. Your health is your only true currency. Start investing it one step at a time.